Alright, so here we go, the next in the series of how to bid at auctions, or tips for bidders at auctions. So we've covered off before the auction and getting to the auction, the start of the auction. This is now just 3 or 4 tips straight away on the bidding itself. First thing I'd suggest is make sure you're positioned where the auctioneer can see you. And a lot of people will sit in the front, but what I see there is if they're sitting in the front and the bidding is behind them, they're looking around, they're just not confident with what is happening, and that holds them back a little bit. So I don't think you actually sit in the front, and I don't think you stand at the back. That's where all the other buyers stand. So you could well be shoulder to shoulder with your competition. My suggestion is stand off to one side. And if you're standing off to one side, you can look at the auctioneer, clear line of sight from the auctioneer to you, but also you can look around and see who else in the room is bidding against you. So that's that first little tip. Next tip is you've got to be confident when you call out the bid. So as you bid, you can either bid just by raising your hand, you can bid by nodding. Sometimes I'll just get a little indication from somebody who's bid at a lot of auctions and they're trying to be discreet, so we can take the bid off that. But you can also bid by calling out the bid. So if you're going to do that, you might find the auctioneer at the front has got this big booming voice. So at least take a deep breath so that you can power out the number that you're going to call. If you're going to call 850, get ready for it. Take a breath, get ready. 850! And you'll sound very confident. Imagine how that sounds to the other buyers. Now you could also use a salesperson sitting next to you or standing with you to call it out. So you'd confirm to them, yes, I'm in at 850, yes, call 850. Or if the auctioneer is asking for 850, might just put your hand up at that stage. With the bidding, think about this also, and I'll talk and refer back to you being within budget. So if you're still within budget and the other party is slowing down and say they're bidding $1,000 bids, if you're in budget, you may want to thump them every time they do 1,000. And if you can afford 5 and they can only afford 1, they do a $1,000 bid, you do a $5,000 bid. Thump straight on top. It just cost them $6,000 a bid if they're only in for ones. They do another one, you do another 5. Wow, $6,000 a gain. So you're just showing your dominance on that other buyer. You're just showing your strength that you are still in. At a certain point, you may well find that you're back down to the ones also. And again, when you get to the end of that budget, my advice, stop. No problem at all. Just has to be. You have to have some control on yourself as you go. And as I've always said, I love it if you're not completely under control and you get excited and you keep going. As long as you can still afford to do that, that's fine. Now the last point today, and it relates now to the sale of the property at the auction. Most auctioneers will call it 3 times before they sell. First, second, third, and then they'll probably add going. Now at that stage, they're normally pointing at the party that they're about to sell to knock it down to, literally. Now, imagine you're standing at the back of the room and you're shoulder to shoulder with another buyer and there's a bit of distance between you and the auctioneer. It may be hard to work out which of the two of you have that property. And I've watched people in that situation, they're just so polite and too scared to ask. And they're not sure if it's them or the party standing right next to them who's about to get the property. So if you find yourself trapped in that wrong position and it's about to sell, clarify, put your hand up and say, hold on, have we got the property? Because you don't want to find out afterwards that you didn't and that you could have bid again. So just clarify. How do you get rid of that in the first place? You stand off to one side. The other buyers will be at the back or they'll be seated in the front. So there you go. I hope that really has helped. You start thinking and planning for your bidding and then you're going to be very successful. The best properties go to auction without a doubt. So you need to be skilled at this, in this market, in Auckland, to be able to buy them. So I'm Wayne Maguire. I hope that was of value and we will see you next week for another tip. Thank you.